This is Dabu7, an earthquake update here as we've seen more significant quakes around the globe, and really it looks like some earth changes are in the making. We have global activity when it comes to these significant quakes. They're popping up in different areas, and some of the places that we've seen activity in the past, like Chile, are starting to go quiet. Peru, this pinch down here, where we've seen 7-pointers come from before. Now, what's been interesting is in the past 48 hours, the Virgin Islands, its swarm has picked up to about the same pace as Southern California's. But for those that recall my last earthquake update, I was talking about this area specifically up to Guatemala that has been quiet for some time. Now, you can see right here, it's listing two different quakes, 6.2 and 6.3. Looks like it's the same quake. You can see that it was right off the coast here in Guatemala. But to add to that, and as an update to what we were witnessing yesterday, and a lot of these quakes I was wanting to show you guys that were hitting on the ridge lines. One was right here. It's fallen off the map. You can see this area, Indonesia 5.7, Vanuatu getting 5.7s, and the bigger quakes have dropped off there. But as you can see here, Japan has been rocked once again by a massive quake. This one registering a 7.4, followed by a 5.8. You can see a closer look here on this map. This is the same area of southern Japan that was being hammered. And you can see the 7.4 that they've got listed there hit mainland. And they're seeing a lot of activity in Japan right now. They've got a 7.4, a 7 in two different areas. Now, yesterday's tsunami warning was canceled, but one would have to wonder what is really going on here in this neck of the woods that set this all into motion. Now, south of here, you have the famous Japanese volcanic islands. Of course, this sitting on the rim of the Ring of Fire, which has been seeing some activity. It was here about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We saw some big quakes up here in Alaska as well. What this means, from what I'm seeing here, these quakes have obviously ran off all the other quakes that I was trying to get a beat on, because we want to see what this ridge activity is doing. And so far, I'm not seeing any reports of massive destruction from the 6.2, but this is an uptick in significant quakes. You're talking at least 9 in the past 7 days. We talked the past couple weeks, it gets up there, and we'll look at the USGS map here in just a second. A look here at some activity. Nevada, Western Montana, Western Montana, West Thumb, and this is Yellowstone situated down here. But of course, they don't want to never show any of the Yellowstone activity. But this is some of the closest activity recently they've shown. Smaller quakes to the northwest of Yellowstone there. But this area up here off BC, British Columbia, here off the coast, all the way down to the Pacific Northwest, it has been very quiet. The Juan de Fuca, this plate that zigzags and cuts right here and then hits this line that runs right up to Eureka. You have Eugene, Medford, Salem, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, all these areas in the Pacific Northwest that are in the line of fire of a tsunami if, well, let's just say when the big one pops. It's not like it's going to happen today, but they never know. With all this global activity, it's wise to get a beat on the known spots that could send off some big quakes. Now, as I was talking about Alaska, I want you to notice there's quite a swarm that's picked up here, just here in the past few hours. So there's definitely something going on globally when it comes to earth changes. Now, I will say this. In the past, we've tried to correlate the connection between the sun's activity, and the earthquakes, because we've seen that they've overlapped, and there's been a lot of similarities. When there's been a lot of sun activity, incoming CMEs, it has coincided with upticks in significant quakes. However, here recently, an interesting note is that we were not, so to speak, dealing with an incoming CME, but we were right directly in the crosshair from the biggest sunspot that is currently on the sun. It just so happened it was in the shape of a huge heart. As you can see right here, over on Space Weather, you can see this massive heart-shaped sunspot that has the Earth there in comparison next to it. So you can see on a scale from the sun to the Earth just how massive this sunspot is. And that's what we're just now passing through. May or may not have something to do with this, but just wanted to make note of it. Interesting feature on the sun there at this massive sunspot. And this is from yesterday. And let me show you the full solar disk. You can see how big it is. So it's not active at the moment, but if it was to eject anything, it would be Earth directed. And sometimes we can also just catch a glancing blow of those things. But it doesn't look like anything huge is going to come of this. But what I want to note here on the past 30 days, significant quakes, you can see Japan, Vanuatu, Japan, Burma, Afghanistan. And then it starts hitting Vanuatu again. And notice they even have Oklahoma listed in the significant quakes at that 4.2, in Hawaii at the 4.6. What they don't have on here is the recent Guatemala quake that I just showed you. But you can see it over here on the one-day charts. Now, this is the deception that I want to bring up once again. You will see nothing in terms of Yellowstone activity. There's two small quakes here northwest of it that I just showed you. They're not showing all the Southern California activity. And when it comes to, like yesterday, let me see here. See if we can pull this up right. You see it's a 6.1, 25 kilometers off there. That's not in the 30-day map. Now, what they also like to do is downgrade a lot. You'll see a lot of 7-pointers that are downgraded to 6.7s or 7.4s that are downgraded to 6.9s. You can actually see that here. 6.9, 6.7, 6.7, 6.9. Surprised that one stuck at a 7, to be honest with you. And if they would not have put a 7 on there, there would have been no 7-pointers reported, and we know there's a massive uptick in quake activity. So, that's why it's good to go with a couple different earthquake people that give you different readings from different places. There's a couple different ones that I like to check out, but, large scale when it comes to certain areas, there's quakes happening, and people just don't realize it because they're not seeing what's going on. They go to USGS, they think, oh, this is this and that. And I'm telling you, it's soft deception. One more look here at Japan. At these most recent quakes. And I'll continue to run updates because I'm sure this isn't over. I have a funny feeling that we're going to continue to see at least some 6-pointers here throughout the next 24, 48 hours. Where anyone's guess, but with all the activity that we're seeing, like I said before, all you got to do, if you've been paying attention to the earthquake maps for the past couple years, you start to see a trend. You start to see, and I hate how this does this, wish it would update on the other side to show us the full ring of fire here. But it doesn't. But you know the spots that have seen a lot of activity. Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, Fiji, these are areas that are known for activity and damage. New Zealand, you've been very quiet. So is the Gulf of California. In the Pacific Northwest, Juan de Fuca, all the way up here by BC. Those are areas that have been quiet, that in the past have seen swarms and bigger quakes pop off. So And to make note, as far as the New Madrid is concerned, we've seen some quakes in Atlanta or around in Georgia, in Tennessee. Smaller quakes, like what you're seeing around Yellowstone there or in Montana. Nothing significant. And a quick check here on Twitter before we wrap it up. It says 5.6 quake strikes off Indonesia. See, this is a significant quake if it's sending a tsunami out, because that's what they're saying here. This is some of the latest information here 2 minutes ago. M8 mega quake could occur, triggering huge tsunami. They're talking about in a new area here in southern Japan. And as you can see, the Sendai nuclear plants sit down here. Tsunami warning comes. Pray for Japan. Tsunami warning for Kumamoto lifted. So there was one sent out. You can see they're listing early Saturday because it's now Saturday for them over there. But it looks like this has been lifted. And you can still see 7.1, 7-pointer. They're going 7.4. It's, look at the shaking there. It's some of the shaking going on from the quake. And I'll leave links in the description box. Keep you guys posted with more information as I come across it. But there's definitely something going on here worldwide in terms of an uptick in significant quake activity. Just here within the past 48 hours, Japan hit with that initial one that had collapsed buildings and everything else. So that's everything I've got thus far, guys. I'll keep you guys posted with more as I come across it and as things happen. This has been Dabu7.